Hi Year 4, this is Blue Group Maths and this is your week 6 learning. So we're going to be learning all about Roman numerals this week, which I know that most of you have done a few times, but they are quite tricky. So we're going to quickly go through some of the basics. So today you're writing Roman numerals to 20. So the Romans used letters to write their numbers. They used I for 1, V for 5 and X for 10, and these are the three that we're going to be focusing on today. So they made their numbers by adding together the numerals. For example, VI is 6, and that's because V means 5 and I means 1, so it's just 5 plus 1 is 6. And then XV is 15 because 10 is X and V is 5, and then it's just 10 plus 5 is 15, okay? So this addition rule was the rule for most numbers, but actually there was another rule because the Romans didn't want to write loads of numerals next to each other. They basically said that one smaller numeral could be written in front of a larger numeral to show that it was taken away, okay? And this is only for numbers with 4 or 9 in. So, for example, the number 4, most people would think you'd just write it as I, but that's not the case. We're going to cross it out because that's not how you write number 4. You actually write it as IV because it's just 5, which is your V, take away 1. And because the 1's been written in front of the V, it shows it was taken away from the total. And then again with 9, most people would think it would be VIII, but that's getting quite long again. So let's cross that out. That's not how you write 9. You actually write it as IX because it's just X is 10, take away 1, so IX. And again, this rule applies to any number that includes a 4 or 9. So let's quickly go over 19 because that has a 9 in. So let's do our 10s first. We know that 110 is X, and then our 9 is IX, okay, because it's 10 take away 1. And then 19 would therefore be XIX. So the first thing you need to do is you need to write the Roman numerals next to the numbers you've been given to help Holly find her way home. So let's look at 7 together. So the thing you need to do is you need to use the symbols you know and find the symbol that's closest to 7 but not more than 7. So the numeral is V because that's 5, okay? So that's the one that's closest to 7 but not more than 7. Then we're going to find the extra numerals we need. So 5 plus something is 7. We know that's 2, okay? So what is 2 in Roman numerals is II. Then you just put your V and your II together, and that's 7, okay? So you need to do that for the rest of the numbers on your sheet. Remember, if you've got a 4 or a 9, that means you need to use the special subtraction rule. So the next thing you need to do is order these Roman numerals from smallest to greatest. So what you'll need to do this is you'll need to work out what the numerals are in normal numbers first. So we've first got IX, which is 9, XV, which is 15, XIII, which is 13, and VIII, which is 8. So you just need to now order them from smallest to greatest. Moving on to day 2, it gets a bit tricky today because you're writing Roman numerals all the way up to 100. So, unlike us, the Romans did not use place value or 0. When they needed to make a larger number, they just used a new letter. So we've already learned that V is 5 and X is 10. And now we're going to learn that L is 50. So they used L for 50 and they used a C for 100. So again, to make most numbers, they just added the numerals together. For example, XXX is 30 because it's just 10 plus 10 plus 10. And then LXX is 70 because it's just 50 plus 10 plus 10. However, the subtraction rule still is the same for the numbers with 4 or 9 in. For example, XL is 40 because you've got L, which is 50, take away 10 because they've put the smaller number in front of the larger number. And then XC is 90 because you've got 100, take away 10. Let's go through one more example. 44, it's got a 4 in, so it's going to use the subtraction rule. So let's look at the tens column first. We've got 4 tens, which is 40, and that is XL because it's 10 less than 50, so 50 take away 10, and then 4 ones we know is IV because it's 5 take away 1. So then 44 would be XLIV. Okay? The first thing you need to do is write the Roman numerals next to the numbers given. Let's go through one example together. Let's go through 65. So you've got your tens and your ones. Let's start with the tens column. We've got 6 tens, which is 60, and 60 is LX because it's 50, which is L, and then X, which is 10, so 50 plus 10. And then your ones is 5, and we know that 5 is V. So let's push those together. You've got LXV, and that's 65. The next thing you need to do is order these Roman numerals from smallest to greatest, and this is similar to your day one learning. So we'll need to work out what the numerals are in numbers first. So you've got XXII, which is 10 plus 10 plus 2, and that's 22. XVII is 10 plus 5 plus 2 is 17. XXV is 10 plus 10 plus 5, which is 25. And XIX is 19 because it's 10 plus 10 take away 1 because it's got a 9 in, so we use the subtraction rule. Now you just need to order them from smallest to biggest. Moving on to day 3, and you're going to be using your knowledge of numerals to problem solve. So the first type of question you have is finding the missing numerals, and you need to find the missing numeral to make the statement correct. So this is using inverse operations. So I'm going to show you how to work out number 1. So we've got XIV plus something is LXXX VIII. Okay, so we need to work out what our numerals are first. So let's do XIV, which we know is 14 because it's 10 plus 5 take away 1. This bigger number here is 50, which is L, plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 88. Okay. Now, you could just work out the difference between 14 and 88 in your head. Some of you may be able to do that. But if you can't do that, an easy way to do it is just to take away. So you can just do 88 take away 14, and that'll give you the missing number. And that's called an inverse operation because you're doing opposite to what it tells you to do. So in the question they're adding, so if we do take away, if we do 88, which is our answer, take away our first number, 14, we get 74. So that's the missing number. And in Roman numerals, that is L, which is 50, plus 10 plus 10, plus IV, which is 4. Okay. Now, here is part of a Roman numerals 100 square, and we need to complete the missing values and then say what patterns you notice. So the way I would do this is I'd look at the first two numbers and work out what pattern is going on there. So we've got, the first one is 44, because we've got 10 less than 50 and then a 4 added on. And then the next one is 45 because we've got 10 less than 50 with a 5. And then the last one on that line is 47 because we've got 10 less than 50 with a 5 and 2 ones. So what could that missing gap be? And then you need to use that method of working out the other numerals to think about what other patterns could be going on. You need to explain which patterns you think are happening and what you notice. Moving on to your day 4 learning, again we're going to be problem solving today. Now I'm not going to go through the first question with you because I think that you will all get on with that one absolutely fine, but I'm just going to really quickly go through the second one with you. So it's called shopping codes, and it says each letter of the alphabet has been given a value in Roman numerals. So you've got A is I, B is II, C is III, D is IV, all the way to Z, which is XXVI. So you may have worked out that in numbers that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, all the way until you get to 26. Okay? So items in a shop cost the amount of their letters added together. For example, an egg is V plus VII plus VII, which is XIX. Now, all they've done there is they've taken egg, they've worked out what E is, which is 5, and then G is 7, so we've got 2 7s in the word egg, okay? So then in Roman numerals, that is literally just V plus VII plus VII, okay? That's 19. So they know that egg is worth 19, and they've turned that into Roman numerals. So you need to use this method to work out the rest of the questions on your sheet, and they get a little bit trickier because some of them are really long words, so just go slowly with those ones. Okay, good luck with the rest of your learning.